Hello. Gosh, look at you lot getting loads of lives at the moment. For those of you who were on the Challenge Club last night, got hairs all over my screen. For those of you who were on the Challenge Club last night, let me just put my glove on. Hold on a minute. What am I doing? It's freezing out here. Okay, so for those of you that were on the Challenge Club last night, wasn't it fun? Wasn't it good? Wait a minute. Good Lord, it's all going wrong. Oh, I'm here now. Don't get a phone call right in the middle of trying to do a live. The start of this live, I'll go back at the beginning. I'll be like, my God, it's all over the place. Hold on. I'm trying to put my glove on now because I had to take it off. Just wait a second. Just pop you there for a minute. Put my glove on. It's bloody freezing out here. Okay, so what was I saying? I was saying the Challenge Club last night. It was fun. We had nearly 70 people on that webinar last night. Well, meeting. Well, it was a Zoom meeting, so everybody can come on screen. But it was me and Gary chatting away and answering your questions, like a big Q&A session. And the Challenge Club, we do one session every month, and it's for people that have done the 15 or 10-day challenge. I think it's going to rain. 15 or 10-day challenge or a 3-day in-person workshop. Anyway, it was great. But I thought I'd just jump on quickly today, and I think it's going to piddle down and I'm heading towards the rain. I thought I'd jump on quickly today because Bethan shared a video on her page from a veterinary practice that have put out a video of them assessing some x-rays. And I thought I'd just talk to you about that because this is a very classic situation of what we deal with in the world of hoof care. We've got a veterinary practice, a lead vet sat in front of other vets, I presume, and they're assessing this x-ray or x-rays, and they're looking at this horse who's clearly got hoof capsule divergence. The horse has been trimmed incorrectly on the wrong plane for God knows how long, high heels, shortened toe, and what they want to do is, I think, they want to do more manipulation to the hoof capsule, e.g., wedges, taking off more toe, etc. And then they show some images of the poor horse. And what they're looking at is the bone. They're looking at P3. They're looking at P3 being in the wrong position. They're looking at P3 being rotated. And we're all looking at the hoof capsule. But because they've been told that P3 can independently rotate in the hoof capsule, they're not really interested in the hoof capsule. They're interested in P3 and the fact that the laminae are separating. But they're separating because, and in this video, of an endocrinopathic issue, i.e., e.g., hormones, i.e. So hormones causing this horse incredibly to have high heels and incredibly to have a shortened vertical toe depth. But you see, they don't see it as that because they imagine in their mind's eye that hoof capsule is normal, but it isn't. And that P3 has gone whoop like this. And if you put P3 back, it would fit, but it wouldn't, would it? And little things like the apex of the frog, which P3 is intrinsically connected to. P3 can't rotate through a hoof capsule because there's a solid sole in the way. There's P3, and the P3 and apex of the frog anatomical relationship is a constant. I saw somebody, I think it was a farrier, the other day commenting that that wasn't a constant. Yes, it is. Of course it is. It can overgrow, but the actual basis, the dermis that the frog grows from, is contiguous with the dermis of P3. And so therefore the two cannot be separated. So if P3 rotates, what's happening to the point of the frog? It's got to go back as well, hasn't it? Right the way back through the hoof capsule. But no, that doesn't happen, obviously. That's been missed. So you've got these people sat around staring at these x-rays. The people in the background, I'm assuming, are part of the assessment team, or maybe learning, vets that are learning. And they videoed this because the lead vet is describing what they're going to have to do with this terrible disease they're going to have to do to this horse's feet. Now, if we took that horse that they're dealing with in this video, don't go and look now. Wait till I've done my live and then you can go and have a look. If we took that horse and it's raining, and we brought that horse to Galsworth, we could realign that horse in one trim, stick him in a pair of boots, and Bob's your uncle. Away you go. That horse would then be moving around. No danger of P3. Whoop, boink. None of that. Absolutely fine. Because P3 is not suspended in the hoof capsule by the laminae. If it was, we fail every single time we try to realign P3 because it would just whistle back through the hoof again. This is just a nonsensical thing. But there they are, staring at a hoof capsule that you, me, all our Phoenix warriors, everybody that follows Galsworth Track Livery now know to be completely imbalanced, caused by a human being's error. They're looking at it one way because it's hormones that have done this, and we're looking at it another way. It's not the bone that's the problem, it's the hoof capsule. And it's so startling, isn't it, when you know this? Now, obviously, I've known this for a very long time, and we've been teaching this, and now we're teaching this to you, and now more horse owners are understanding it, and now more people are looking at it going, how can they not see that? How can they not see what's staring them in front of their faces? How can they not see the wood for the trees? Well, they can't see the wood for the trees. Because they can't. Because they are so conditioned because of the suspensory apparatus of the distal phalanx theory, and because everybody talks about it, poor or horse must be going through a laminitic event. P3's on the move again. And once they've had it once horses have had laminitis once, well, they'll never be free of it. They'll always have it. Forever and ever, it'll be looming over them like a Damocles sword. It'll be looming over them, ready to take them at any moment, should you just accidentally step out of line as a horse owner, naughty, naughty horse owner. It's not that at all, is it? It's the naughty, naughty people in the world who have told everybody that it's absolutely fine. You can do what the hell you want to the hoof capsule. Makes no difference whatsoever because P3 does its own thing in there because it's suspended by the laminae. It's rubbish. The laminae are there so that the hoof capsule has a guide. The laminae are there so that the nail stays connected. They are not there to hold P3 in the hoof capsule. You've got loads of other things in there like the digital cushion, lateral cartilages, ligaments, and yes, the DDFT. But don't forget that poor little thing that always gets forgotten, the extensor tendon. You don't even see that drawn in on diagrams sometimes. No. All you see is that DDFT supposedly pulling P3 through the capsule because it's failed. Go look at a post I put out today on the public page about sinking. I was a bit tongue-in-cheek, did it a bit like a detective story in a case of a detective going and having a look at what was going on with this X-ray. And if that X-ray, the top X-ray of the two, same horse, just a few short months apart, if that X-ray had been put up on the screen for those vets to assess, they'd have said it was sinking. They could see separation beginning, and they'd say P3 is rotating and sinking. What nonsense. What had happened is the hoof capsule shrinking. Is your cup half full or half empty? That's where we're at in the equine world right now. P3 had or the hoof capsule had been removed, shortened, and the hoof capsule had been flat trimmed, so that P3 remained in a palmar angle that was going to cause divergence as soon as you started shortening that toe. So they did. And even though it didn't look like he'd chopped the toe off, this is on the image on my post, that vertical depth had been reduced. So that horse went into divergence and started tearing the lamini, becomes painful. But had they been assessing it, that vet team, they would have assessed that as being a sinker. Ooh, P3 not only moving in the capsule, but sinking. Yet, just a few short months later, after they'd tried this, that, and the other, everything you can imagine, spent a fortune on this horse not getting better, they x-rayed again. Woo! Lo and behold, P3 is no longer sinking. Yet, lamini separation is actually worse. P3 is rotated more. And if it was suspended in the capsule, it most definitely would have sunk by then. But no, in fact, it must be on an elevator because P3 is now further up in the capsule. Why is that then? Oh, it's because of the capsule. Oh, shock horror. Hang on a moment. But I thought we were saying that the SADP theory, the suspensory apparatus of the distal phalanx, meant that P3, once the lamini are failing, ain't nothing you can do. This way, dogs. Be. Ain't nothing you can do because P3 is going to sink through the capsule. Well, what a load of nonsense. And here we are. They can't see the wood for the trees. They're staring right at the problem. Right at it. Right at the problem. And no, because they've been conditioned to believe that the hoof capsule looking like that is a downstream event to the primary event, which is the endocrinopathic failure cascade, causing pathological cascade, causing the lamini to fail, blah, blah, blah. Because they've been told that, they then don't really see the capsule as the problem. They see that, come on, Womble. Yes, this dog is called Womble. It's a lovely dog. It's not mine. I'm looking after my friend's dogs. Because they see P3 as the issue, the endocrinopathic cascade pathology as the problem, and P3 is the victim of that, they see the capsule as the victim of that as well. Rather than seeing the capsule as the problem. Isn't it funny? Hundreds upon thousands of pounds, millions of dollars has been spent on laminitis research on a hoof, on the hoof of the equine. Desperately trying to find a drug. What? That's going to take the heels down and restore the toe. All of these dollars, taxpayers' money, being spent on laminitis research, and they keep declaring, well, It's a terrible disease. We don't appear to be getting any closer. Such a huge failure rate. Once they've had it once, they'll get it again. No. Stop for a moment and just look at the hoof capsule. Because if you stop thinking about hormones, because the horse in the x-rays that I put up he had tests, well, nothing wrong with him. Had nothing wrong hormonally. If you stop looking at the bone as the victim and you start looking, the victim of a endocrinopathic pathological event, and you start looking at it as the victim of an imbalanced hoof capsule, you can fix these horses very quickly and bring them back to soundness. Obviously, of course, as long as they've not been in that position for so damn long that P3 is now so damaged, it's got horrible osteonecrosis. Bethan and I were talking about a very sad little case only today. It comes in all the time. A little Shetland pony somewhere in the world that this lovely lady had rescued, hoping that she could save this little Shetland. And the x-rays had been done. The heels are super high. This little lovely, dear little Shetland who's not sick, standing on its bone, the tip of P3, which is almost completely gone, bar a tiny little nub. Almost completely gone, breached the terminal arch. Not savable at all. It doesn't want to die. The lovely lady who rescued her doesn't want her to die. She's the sweetest natured thing, but she's been abused for years because the person or persons doing the hoof care screwed it up, went on the wrong balance, and then blamed everything on the diet. Pony's not even overweight, no metabolic issues. Now, there are those in the world that would say that this is down to a mechanical failure then. Oh, well, if it can't be metabolic, it's got to be mechanical. Let me tell you, folks, even if the metabolic issue was true and that it caused problems with the feet, as in P3 moving, which it doesn't, but let's just give them that for a second. Let's just humour them and just say it did. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt, horses that have metabolic issues, that have P3 in the wrong position, are nowhere near as numerous as the ones that don't have metabolic issues and have P3 in the wrong position. So even if you were right, which you're not, but even if you were, don't you think the millions of pounds should have been spent on looking at how people are trimming these capsules? Why are we ignoring that? Why are we not looking at that? Why are we ignoring the very person that's got the tools and doing the changes and changing the balance? Is that because we can't face it? Is that because of egos? Is that because we can't say that another professional is getting it wrong? If something went wrong in an operation, would they look at the surgeon or not? I think one of the first places they'd look at the surgeon. But isn't it weird with horses? The first place nobody looks is the hoof care professional. I don't like it either. I hate it. I hate the fact that the world has got itself so torn up in fads, chopping toes off for theories that haven't even been tested, e.g. lever forces, which we've proven to be non-existent. As in a long toe tearing the laminae. That's not what tears laminae, friends. What tears laminae is the imbalance of a two-part hoof capsule. And it literally causes pain and tearing when that imbalance causes P3 to be in the wrong position. P3 is not moving independently. We've proved that with all our sequential x-rays. You put P3 back in the same position, and that P3 stays there. If you go and look on Bethan's page on Gaursworth Track Livery, you'll see images of Mickey, you'll see images of Hector, because we've just done our round of x-rays. You know, we do them monthly. So she's putting them up now, and you can see P3 stable. So, my friends, this was just a quick live. I don't know how long I've been on. Talking to you about that video, which is a classic video. Owners haven't got a clue. So if they were present in that at that time, veterinary nurses, technicians, the other students, or other maybe slightly lowlier vets who were listening to the main vet there, just all then repeat the same nonsense. They just repeat it because they've been told it, because the vet over there that's paying my wages told me that's so. So therefore, I just have to agree with it. Such a horrible big failure rate, because laminitis is such a terrible disease. So go and have a look at that video and see what you see, and see how, pause it right where they're looking at the image of the hoof, the same kind of hooves that Bethan and I and HM are fixing constantly, day in, day out. Going round behind these hoof care professionals who are getting off scot-free with a get out of jail free card because they didn't cause it. Crazy, isn't it? Who have we got here? Oh my God, so many comments. La 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 la. Toya's here. Hello, darling. Bonnie's here. Hello. Stay safe in the woods. I will. Michelle Mallory's here. Howdy. Teresa's here. Hi. Melanie's here. Hello. Maylin, hello. Sarah Lou, hello. Karen Davis. Yay, another like. It's just constant. It's constant. We can't get off your screens. Stella says, ooh, good day all. Sarah says, love today's post. Simple visuals with the biggest impact, and of course, a little humour mixed in. Sometimes I have to laugh. Otherwise, I'd go bloody mad. D. Thompson, hello, love these random posts. Meda says, hi, Lindsay, sorry I wasn't able to participate in the Challenge Club last night. I was at work. That's okay, you are allowed. Anyway, I'll see you this evening. Camilla says, hi, everyone. Jackie Kennedy says, hello. Stella says, sound has just gone. Yeah, because that was ages ago when I was fiddling about. Suzanne Scheidt's here, Laurie Padmore, Angie Medler, Tammy Clayton. Yep, and that's why I don't want to call the vet for more painkillers. The vet will tell me his toes need to come off. Stella says, can everyone hear? I can't. Sound is good here, says Angie. Jennifer Gunderson says, oh, a lovely surprise. Hello again. I am. La 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 la. Stella's just trying to sort herself out. Yes. Shannon Shipper's here. Great morning surprise. Laura Shillam's here. Hi. Angela Garberg. Hello. Looks brighter now, says Julie. Aaron's here. Thank you, and say it loud for the folks in the back. Don't think anybody's listening. It's the capsule you need to be looking at. Not P3! Do you think they heard that? I don't know if they did. I swear I'm getting madder by the moment. Sandra's here. Hello from Czech. Alicia's here. Hello. Good afternoon. Jill Truscott's here. Hello. Caroline Shilling. Yoo-hoo! Just managed to catch you. What a great coffee break. Nick Howell's here. Love this. Thank you. Catherine Swinman's here. Hi, Kat. Yay, I'm able to catch this live. Okay, my lovelies, I'm going to let you go. It is actually quite beautiful here. If you were to take lots of photos, it would look moody. The sky. I've got two muddy dogs there, and I don't know where what. Oh, what's up there? Can you see him in the background? See him. So I'm going to go now. Can't see the wood for the trees. I thought I'd just jump on and have a quick chat with you about that because it's mind-numbing. And somebody said on a page that shared it, they said, and she's a vet, this lady, and she follows us, and she said they've shared it on another page, you know, but they're right, basically. You need to be looking at the hoof capsule. You've got to stop all this nonsense. And that person's like, oh, yes. You know, you've got to choose your teachers wisely. And it's so bad. All these people being duped on the internet following hoofing marvellous. And Goresworth track livery. Yes, I mean, gosh. I mean, the monthly x-rays alone prove how wrong we are. Keep pushing on. Keep pushing on, my Phoenix Warriors. We've got this. We've got this. I'll see you again soon. Take care. All my love. Love you all. Thank you for joining me. Tatty bye. Bye.